Once sold as the Millennium City, Gurgaon at the moment, looks less like India's future and more like a warning. There are shiny towers, luxury condos, sky-high land rates, higher per sort of square foot than some parts of even Singapore and Dubai. But behind all of this is hiding a crumbling reality. Step outside those glass facades and what you find is chaos. Air thick with poison, traffic that grinds daily life to a halt, and infrastructure sinking with every monsoon shower. Roads cave in, water turns toxic, drains overflow, and yet the bills keep climbing. This is a city where people pay global prices for third world living, where your apartment may cost as much as perhaps some places even in Dubai, but your daily commute feels like a crawl through an endless trap, where the cost of survival is steep and the quality of life is sinking. The truth is, Gurgaon is no longer just inconvenient, it's unlivable. And unless something changes, that Millennium City will remain just that, a mirage in the desert of India's urban dreams. Every Gurgaon resident has a story to share, not just about last night, but what happens year after year during the monsoon. But first, let's take a look at what happened when some of the corporates living in Gurgaon, people who draw six-figure salaries, pride themselves for being part of MNCs, also sort of tell themselves they've worked hard, come from small towns to realize this big dream, only to come back home like this, in a tempo traveler. Let's go full frame on that video first for you to see how some corporates reached home last night. That's not an Uber, that's not a cab, that's not even a bus, it's not public transport, but this is what is used to transfer goods. And let's see what happens when the gates of that tempo traveler actually open. Here you go. The corporates of Gurgaon have arrived. And perhaps they were the lucky ones, because a lot of people didn't even know how to make it back home last night. So that's the reality. That's where we are living in today. So what makes Gurgaon not just this most unlivable city, but also the most expensive city? What happened to this place, and why are still people paying the price of a first-class sort of city and a country only to get third-class lives? Let's bring in our guests now. We have with us today a resident of Gurgaon, Sahaj Kumar. He's a private corporate worker, director in a leading management consulting firm. He's with us today. Vishal Bhargava is with us. Vishal is a real estate expert, founder of DHK Voice. Abhishek Asthana, aka Gabbar Singh, is here with us. And also with us in the studio is RJ Guinea. She's been speaking about it all morning, and we will take this conversation through the evening as well. Let me give the first word to Sahaj. Sahaj shared a lot of pictures with us this morning of what happened actually yesterday. And let's put those on the screen first, of what happened to his car. Do you want to describe what happened to your car yesterday, Sahaj, before I go ahead?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sonal. And I think what happened yesterday was what we have been seeing every time. I have been living in Gurgaon for almost 14 years now. And to be really honest, I don't see things changing probably 10 years back. Yesterday, while on my way back from office, you stopped at a red light. As usual, the roads are flooded and the water is seeping into your car. And I don't understand what is wrong, why as a country we have not been able to, say for example, fix our cities. We have complete lack of crippled civil infrastructure.
That's your car, right?
Yeah, that's
what it looked like.
That's what it looked like. And, just imagine you're coming from office and you're in your formals, in sometimes even in a suit. Luckily, I was not wearing a suit yesterday. But, you just get out of your car, it just stops in the middle of the road, the water is creeping inside, and, you're just left stranded. And this is right at Sona Road. I live on Sona Road in Gurgaon, very popular place. and it's also very infamous for all the waterlogging that happens because it gets choked. I live in right at Subhash Chowk. People familiar with Gurgaon would be knowing it.
Yeah.
And Sonal, it just becomes so difficult to come because Hero Honda Chowk is just waterlogged. Rajiv Chowk is waterlogged. Medanta, which is one of the biggest hospitals, is waterlogged. How do you come home? As a honest tax-paying citizen, it just boggles me of what am I going through. And to be really honest, I was extremely frustrated yesterday while coming back, but then I mellowed down a bit because I saw one of the ambulance just struggling to reach, and I'm assuming it was trying to reach Medanta. And I
Yeah.
was just thinking about what must be going through those family members' minds, right? Just imagine somebody has an emergency in this situation, somebody needs to visit a hospital. It's just bizarre. I don't understand why have we not been able to fix something like this. And we keep on ranting about this every monsoon, then we forget about it. But I think it is very criminal, and I think I made a tweet about this yesterday on Twitter, and it just went viral because, and I think it has right now. When I was checking it right before this, it has almost close to 20,000 views, and it's not because of anything viral which I said. It's because of what
People
people are
just resonate
facing.
with it. But Said, can I
Yeah,
ask you
people
a very
resonate.
simple question? Simple
Yeah.
question. Why do you still live there?
It's because of, say, for example, work. Gurgaon is, I would say, it's that flashy dreams. I still remember when I was studying in my class 10, way back in 2003, 2004. I came to Gurgaon for the first time, and it just had that flashy thing. And I made a kind of a thing that time that one day I'll come here and work, and it happened. But I used to enjoy it earlier, but I think for the last few years it's just been turning from bad to worse. We are just making it the most pathetic thing. I think people live here because everybody, we move in from small towns. I also come in from a tier 2 city. We move in here with big dreams. We are honest tax-paying citizens. We complete our education. Our parents have good high hopes for us,
Yeah.
and everybody has that dream, and
Sej,
they
what
want to
you're
come and
saying
fulfill in the city.
resonates. It resonates so much with me, and I'm sure with so many of our viewers as well. People like us who come from small towns, want to make it big, want to earn a name from themselves. They think that coming or staying in Gurgaon, being able to afford Gurgaon, is like you've arrived in life, right?
Yeah,
Like this is where dreams come true. It's in a
yeah,
lot of ways how Mumbai makes a lot of creative people feel. But is that
absolutely.
changing? And I want to take that question to Abhishek Asthana as well. Abhishek, is that dream now lost? I'm looking back and saying, what is this big aha moment of staying in Gurgaon? I have bad air, toxic air, unlivable, to the degree that doctors say that if you have a baby, leave Gurgaon. Don't be here. It's going to spoil generations of lungs altogether. You
Yeah.
have bad water. You have traffic that doesn't move. You have very bad sort of road management as well. And you have
Hmm.
extremely high prices. So,
Yeah.
what is still attracting people? And is this time that MNCs say, this is it? We will not make our expats go through it. Let's shift base.
Hmm. See, a large part is inertia. Of course, we have built our careers in a city. We have got our families in a particular place. Our kids go to a particular school. Our spouses work at a particular location. So it's very difficult for us to uproot everything and move to a new city. Basis a problem that's going to happen for 2 or 3 months, and that's a problem as well. I mean, because it's a problem of 3 months, it doesn't become an electoral issue, and the politicians never face it. I mean, imagine even the water, even the pollution issue as well, right? It's for 2 months,
But
and
is it
people
three
just forget.
months? I think it's half a year. 3 months of
Exactly. I
bad
mean,
air, then pollution, then there is traffic, then every time Diwali now the same traffic is going to start. Any
yeah.
long holiday, the same story.
Yeah. So, I mean, the point is that where do you go? I mean, it's not that there's a utopia elsewhere as well. You have stories from Bombay as well. You have stories from other cities as well where waterlogging is there. So there is no solution, I guess, where I can just move to a city and, I mean, have everything sorted, right? Any of the metros that we have are choked with people, of course, overcapacity. The roads, the municipal corporation can't take it. They are not prepared every year with the pollution issue or be it the drainage issue as well. So it's a predictable problem. It's not a, I mean, accident, or it's not a flooding that has happened. It happens every year. I mean, yeah, I fail to understand how can we not be prepared. It's a basic issue. I was there for the last 10 days in New York. And I mean, of course, roads are bumpy there as well. But the issue is that they can predict stuff. They can tell people that this is the problem that's going to happen and be prepared for it. But here, I'm hearing, when I came back, I saw a message from my RWA president saying that the basement is flooded. I mean, we can't do anything about it. We have unprecedented rains, and this unprecedented rains happen every year for some reason. So
You're
I
saying
mean, it's
where do
very
you
difficult
go?
to.
You're saying where do you go, Abhishek? I think Guinea has an answer for that.
Yeah,
Guinea
please.
is,
I would
is
love to hear.
Noida the place now? Can I
Noida
just
is-
point out for everything that is said and all the debates that happen between Noida and Gurgaon,
Noida's cause.
life, the fact is Noida has not gotten flooded at all.
It's true. It's actually absolutely true. Noida's not got flooded at all. But Noida is not half as cool as Gurgaon is considered to be.
Why
And
is that?
the
Why is
biggest-
that?
It's like, so you know, a couple of things that I thought were very fun in this conversation. I loved how Abhishek has decided, और कहाँ जाएंगे अब, छोड़ो कोई बात नहीं, 3 महीने ही तो होता है, क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है. That is an attitude where you will not even go to your authorities and ask questions. You will not go to the government and ask questions. Gurgaon pays the highest taxes as an area compared to the rest of India, but we're not questioning. We're very happy with the fact that 8 mahine, 8 months at least, it's very cool. The other thing that somebody said was that it's all right, Gurgaon makes me feel like Shah Rukh Khan, and it is true. You have to give it to the absolute genius of the land mafia there, of the ones who are building these 100 crore apartments there, that they have made it sure that if you have to arrive, you got to arrive here. So it's brilliant marketing genius. But I also think it's extreme laziness that across India that I see. Look, when the fields in Punjab are drowning, my heart goes out to them because there's nothing that we can do at this point in time, which is why everybody's praying for Punjab or Himachal. Gurgaon, this happens every 3rd month. There's something or the other because there is no drainage system. We all know Gurgaon did not have a drainage system. We don't ask enough questions. We don't
It's
pay
an
enough
afterthought
pressure.
city, yeah.
Yes, we don't put enough pressure that you got to find a solution. We're happy with the cool tag, and that is the biggest problem of Gurgaon.
So we are the problem then, huh? We are only not putting enough pressure on the authorities. We are not asking politicians.
Look, when they want
we are not
elections-
making it an election issue. So
Absolutely.
it's on us.
When they come for votes, we listen to them. Either we don't go and vote,
Oh,
or
one
we don't
second, let
put
me just
across
say
our
this.
points.
I have lived in Gurgaon. I have also lived in Noida. In the past 15, 20 years of me being in Delhi NCR, no politician has ever come to my doorstep. Let's be very clear, in the condos, in the societies we stay in, no politician comes. Because half the time we are not voting. So let's be very honest about that front.
It's
They're
our
probably
problem.
going to the JJ colonies because they know those people will turn up to vote, and that's why this is not an election issue. Let's be honest about it.
Absolutely, it's our fault. We're not voting, we're not asking enough questions. Ask any of these people if they know the names of their councillors. None of them. Have you ever written a single note to a councillor? None of them. Have you ever called up the MCD or the MCG number in this case and made sure that 20,000 calls go, that they have to take a call? No. Have you ever called the cops? We like to believe that, "Arey, kaun sunega?" Because we live in a cool city which at least for 8 months gives us that image of, listen, this is the richest part, this is where the malls are, this is where the big skyscrapers are, this is where we come to arrive. So, well, that is the problem.
Cool city, Gurgaon. Also very expensive city, Gurgaon. And Vishal is here to give us a breakup of that. Vishal, could you put things in context for us? And I'm really trying to wrap my head around this. In the name of, and you know, Vishal brought a very good point earlier when I was speaking with him, that other places have carpet area, etc. Gurgaon doesn't even calculate like that. They have a super area. And why a super area? Because it has a lot of amenities. Beautiful ones like the, you know, like we see every 3 months emerge in front of us. So this is what you're paying higher price for. So what exactly is happening? And I really want to understand the story, Vishal. How did Gurgaon get here? Why have we fallen for the Gurgaon FOMO, for this cool tag that really is doing nothing for us?
So Sonali, of course, FOMO is a factor, but I can see there's a lot of gloom and doom on this panel, and legitimately so. See, home prices are a function eventually about demand and supply. In between, they go through a lot of ups and downs, which are more driven on factors outside of that. So Gurgaon's story is actually a story of the obsession in North India for land and property. And because of the type of description that one of your fellow panelists gave, that it's like a cool city. So everybody who wants to have some presence in North India and a cool hub, Gurgaon has become that place. The other part is, yes, there's a lot of FOMO. I think in one way, Gurgaon is right now an extremely lethal cocktail. Uh, Builders want to make it unaffordable. Government wants to make it unlivable. Both of them are trying very hard. Fortunately, fortunately, I think Gurgaon, unlike many other cities, has a very strong real estate lobby, and it can be used for nefarious purposes. But there is also a positive side to it, that they have enough leverage to make the engines of governance improve if they all unite together. So yeah, so prices are high. It'll adjust. Uh, the prices of Gurgaon today are, I think, what, 15-20% lower than Mumbai. Uh, for a city which has a population one-sixth of Mumbai, double land size. So it'll auto-correct. I don't have a doubt on that. But even if it auto-corrects, one of my fears is that most Indian cities now are pretty much Ram Bharose. People go in with the intent that it'll be privately managed. So in one way, a consumer is paying two sorts of taxes. Once the taxes to the government, the second tax is to the private builder to ensure that he doesn't see the government whatsoever. So until we don't crack that municipal part where governance gets fixed, we will keep paying more to escape the cities that are under our civic administration. And that's my fear. Even if prices come down, we will still find a way to screw it up.
Yeah, but there has to be some marketing going on, right? Like, I'm just trying to piece this together. It doesn't make sense. Like, why will I pay so much of money where in a city where I can't commute in public with public transport or private transport, or probably even if they were to get these taxis that fly, I don't know where they will find landing spaces. Like, it's just not making sense. Look at the memes that are going around that we are popping on our screens as well. People laugh about it, but nothing is really done. And I think I'll come to this. I want Abhishek to come in on this. Abhishek, I'm interacting with a lot of double income households now, where you've heard of this phrase, dual income, no kids, right? Dinks, right?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons they say they're not going to have kids is because it's simply unaffordable to maintain that standard of living, right? The property price you pay, your recurring expenses like land, etc., all have a role to play in this. There is a reason why people have changed their entire life structure to just get out of cities like these. I know so many couples now who are saying, boss, I don't want to live in a metro anymore, because this is not just a story of Gurgaon. Look at Bangalore, look at Mumbai. I think the metros in the country, like Vishal said, are all Ram Bharose, which is such a sad reality of our times. And that's why people are saying, enough is enough. I'm going to go back to my hometown and I'm going to set up something there. I'll start out from there.
Yeah. Sure. See, it's also a kind of a thing of privilege as well. If suppose I had a choice to move back to my hometown and earn the same amount of money or maintain the same amount of lifestyle, I could do that. I could very well do that. But the issue is that we don't have such options. When you go back to a tier 2 city, you don't have any kind of employment options which are comparable to a metro city. So see, I can choose to move to a different city, but I cannot convince my employer to move to that city, right? I mean, it will be very difficult. Ultimately, we are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, the moment we have to make a choice, the first anchor point is our jobs, basically. So until and unless we get an option to maybe work from home, COVID brought that movement, by the way, but then the employers realized that the work was not going to happening. So what they did was they removed that privilege, and everybody had to come back to office. So now it's the choice is not there to actually move to let's say a more quieter town which has.
Let me take that to Sahaj. Sahaj, if you had a choice, would you move out today? Is the city life really worth it anymore?
No, I would definitely move out, Sonal. I think if I had that same quality of life, probably same things to do, and getting same level of employment, I know that I am going to lead a much better life in a tier 2 city. But I think that's not the reality for a lot of us. That's everybody would want to do that. I have been talking to a lot of my friends. You name all these golf course road, golf course extension road, everywhere. A lot of them stay there. I have been listening to a lot of Vishal's podcasts, and I agree with him. I don't understand what has gone so bizarre that, say, for example, for a golf course extension on an SPR, we are asking so much of land prices where you have practically non-existent infrastructure. You can't
Forget
even forget
asking.
about.
People are lining up to take it even before on the first day. It's like a vegetable market.
Yeah, but I think Sonam, I also have seen this, that I do believe that there is also a, factor of the trade market that Vishal talks about. I personally have been in the decision. I'm actually in the middle of buying a house for my family, and I am seeing that same thing. People have entered in maybe in 2019-20. They are exiting it at 3 times. There is suddenly a slowdown. I have been reading a lot of report from Anarok and stuff. There is a slowdown in the market from this quarter. So there is definitely, the brokers and the builders are ready to talk about negotiations, which was not happening because I have been in the market searching for a house for myself for the last 1.5 years. That was not happening earlier. But I do understand. I think it's just inflated. It's a mechanism to kind of double
Yeah.
money. It's a mechanism to do.
Vishal wants to come in on this, but I just want to get a quick word from Guinea. Guinea, you and I don't have the choice to leave metros. I wish there comes a day where you and I can operate out of studios which are not built in Delhi NCR. But for you and me, what's the choice? What do we do apart from raise this issue year after year, monsoon after monsoon, and then get called out on social media कि ये सिर्फ noise करते हैं, solution नहीं बताते हैं? क्या करें हम?
But actually, small towns are also not a solution any longer. If you look at the flats in Goa, they are now retailing at 3.5-4 crores. In
But
Goa.
Goa is not a small town.
Okay,
Come on.
if you go to the hills these days, any of the hills, they're all selling 3-bedroom houses with balconies, again retailing at 2.5, 3. Unheard of figures anywhere. It's not that real estate is only limited to being expensive in Gurgaon. Even in Noida, even in smaller towns, tier 2 towns, prices are highly increasing in real estate. What is the reason? I don't know. Like I said, there is a marketing genius at play. Somebody out there is playing their cards absolutely right. But is moving to small towns an answer? No, he's right. The kind of jobs that you have here, because they're based out of Delhi and Gurgaon, is the reason that we get the salaries we do. If we move to a smaller town, those salaries would not come. Also, if you have kids, the kids are used to a certain culture and living in a bigger city. It does have its advantages over everything else. If you talk about us, look at all of us. Everybody still wants Gurgaon and those big skyscrapers.
I'm
So
not
the
sure if
FOMO
everybody
will kill
wants
us.
Gurgaon. I'm not sure about that. And Guinea and I have been talking about how Noida needs to be put into focus much more. So much more better planned. There's no flooding. There are better schools. There are open and wider roads. But I'll give the last word to Vishal to decode this marketing genius. Vishal, ऐसा क्या हुआ है गुड़गांव में that despite this, people still want to live? Do we need to now get in the CEOs of companies and MNCs to say, why have you built? Why have you built in Gurgaon? Who's going to work?
Yeah, at some point it may happen, but I've learned one thing that, Sonal, it's very tough to kill a city. However hard you try, it's very tough to kill a city once it's developed to a certain extent. The only example we have is Calcutta, and that was because the government was ruthless in killing it. So to kill a city is tough. I think regarding the point of the marketing game, see,
But they don't have to do anything to kill the city. Look at the state of affairs. Is anything left? What do you please describe killer city? Is anything left?
So cities start to get killed in 2 phases. One is when migration stops into it. The second is when the guys who are staying inside start leaving. So in Gurgaon, I think both those cases at this point are not there. There's still that. See, once this entire rainfall issue goes off, and then for a period there's a lull, people will still start appreciating Gurgaon. Yeah, and this thing I tell you from the experience of Mumbai. Mumbai is probably slightly better governed than Gurgaon because governance in Gurgaon is a very low benchmark. But even if I was to take those elements out, once you have a setup ready, it's tough to dislodge it. I think the model has to be, like a panelist mentioned, you have to find a way to pressurize municipal officials to do their job. Until you don't do that, the cost of living will rise while the quality of living will fall. You have to get civic officials to do their job That's the only way to make our cities livable. And
Well,
then,
you're
and then Sonal, last point regarding Noida and this, I fear while currently Noida it seems well planned, prices are also more attractive. About 14,000 per square feet versus 25,000 per square feet for Gurgaon on a carpet area. I fear that once more people start coming to Noida, you will see the same problems in Noida that we have seen in Gurgaon as well as Mumbai and Bangalore, because the lust and the power of land is such that by just one change in rule or one signature, the property value can rise 3 or 4x. So it always gets manipulated.
All right, so what are we talking about? We're talking about Gurgaon, where I don't know where to even begin. It's in some places more expensive than Manhattan. It is less livable than a slum at the moment. There are places where this is a city where you're breathing poison, you're driving in a chaos, and you're paying a fortune for all of this. So wow, congratulations to everybody who stays there, and my heart goes out to those who are struggling to make ends meet, to live this dream of having arrived in life in Gurgaon. And here's really hoping that if not the government, then at least the corporate heads who are also going through the same issue, by the way, whose BMWs and Mercs are also submerged, by the way, they will take notice and say enough is enough. Really hoping that some sort of people sitting on top will decide to do something radical and make everybody's life a little bit simpler. Thank you all for joining us on this discussion. In a major breakthrough for the Maratha reservation movement, the Maharashtra government has now issued a key government resolution announcing that the historical records for the Hyderabad Gazette will be considered valid evidence for issuing the Kumbi caste certification for members of the Maratha community. Now, this step equates Marathas with Kumbis and OBC category, enabling them to access reservation benefits in education and government jobs. Now, this development comes amid activist Manoj Patel's ongoing indefinite hunger strike following cabinet subcommittee deliberations, and is seen as a potential resolution to the long-standing demand for Maratha quota under the OBC category. The GR also directs local authorities to publicize the decision and facilitate smooth implementation across affected districts. This is including places like Aurangabad, Bir, Jalna, Anded, Osmanabad, and Parbhani, and others as well. The health story of the day. And today we've picked up something that I'm sure is in your pantry as well. It's been hailed as a superfood across the globe. From yoga diets in New York to health aisles in Tokyo, India's makhana is having a moment. But ever wondered that when you pick up a packet of makhana, just like this one I have over here, we pay what, some 60, 80 bucks for it? How much of it actually goes back to the farmer? I thought it would be a good idea to see how much do we actually consume in this one packet. So this packet, for example, costs about 50 rupees, has 20 grams of makhana. Let's see how much of it is actually there, right? Okay, let's pour it out in a bowl. My bowl is not even full. We are paying 50 bucks, sometimes 80 bucks, depending on what topping you go for, what brand is pitching it to you, for just 20 grams. And not very big ones. I'll tell you the difference between the big and the small that comes in as well. So what's the story here? Let's introduce you now to what we all think is superfood, but is actually the black diamond of Bihar. Here's a report.
Your superfood, their sweat and struggle. In Bihar's muddy ponds, men and children dive for seeds that cut sting and scar. For them, makhana is nothing but kala patthar. But in global markets, the same foxnut is a black diamond, a billion-rupee superfood.
What it takes to actually cultivate makhana, process it, pop it, package it and send it to our cities. And whether, while the makhana prices and the foxnut prices are going up and up after it was given GI tag from Bihar, are the cultivators and the processing unit laborers and workers earning a lot the way we imagine? What's the situation on the ground? Let's find out.
This is the journey of Bihar's makhana, from sweat and struggle to a status symbol. Harvesters from the Malla community earn just 40 rupees per kilo of seeds. With bare bodies and scarred palms, they wade into snake-infested ponds. Even a 12-year-old Angaj dives underwater for nearly a minute to scoop out seeds from the pond floor.
कठिन काम है सबसे पानी में से निकाल के उसको साफ करना और अगर यहाँ से पानी भर गया तो रोड ऊपर ले जाना वो सबसे कठिन है। मखाने के अंदर घोंघरी होगा, सितुआ होगा और जो फालतू सामान कोई फेंक दिया होगा वो होगा। कीड़ा मकोड़ा सांप रहता है। मछली भी, सिंही मछली भी काट लेता है।
For them, this is not an inheritance of wealth, but of wounds. A generational trap that they can't escape. From the ponds, the seeds then travel to family-run popping units, where these makhanas are cleaned, dried, roasted, and then popped. For every 3 kilos of seed, only 1 kilo of puffed makhana is produced.
It goes to several, utensils like this one, 1, 2, 3, and then it goes to the fourth one, and eventually the popping happens. So the ones which are being roasted right now and popped are the ones which were already roasted yesterday. And from that, what you see is that it's a quite family-based business.
तो जो बीज जो खरीदते हैं ना तो उसको भी तो पैसा देना पड़ता है ना। 750 अगर मान के चले दे रहे हैं तो उसको हम 25,000 का किलो भी तो खरीदते हैं।
A 10-kilo jute bag fetches approximately 7,500 rupees in Darbhanga markets. Injuries are routine, but margins remain thin. Prices can rise and fall overnight, and even a politician's visit can change the value of their crop.
खर्चा जो है लगभग 70-80 हज़ार रुपया बीघा में खर्चा होता है और जो है मखाना जो है जब रेट मिलता है 4,000-5,000 तब तो लगभग 1.5 लाख 1,70,80 हज़ार रुपया हो जाता है एक बीघा में। अगर रेट नहीं है तो पूंजी से भी घाटा लग जाता है।
At the top of the chain are wholesalers and traders. Here makhana transforms from stone to diamond. These wholesalers and traders set the price of the makhanas depending on their varieties. A kilo of grade 6 can fetch up to 1,400 rupees in export markets.
एक्चुअली मखाने का जो प्राइसिंग है वो उसके साइज पे डिपेंड करता है। मखाना जितना बड़ा है मखाना उतना महंगा है, मखाना जितना छोटा है मखाना उतना सस्ता है। ये जो मेरे हाथ में है ये सबसे बड़ा मखाना है जिसको हम लोग बोलते हैं 6+, 6 सूता प्लस। इसका जो कंज्यूमर है एक्चुअली जो प्रीमियम सेगमेंट के कस्टमर हैं या फिर जो एक्सपोर्ट में हम लोगों को अच्छा कभी कभी मतलब अच्छा मखाना देने का ऑर्डर आता है तो उनको हम लोग ये 6 सूता प्लस मखाना सेल करते हैं।
Then there are stockists who hoard thousands of kilos and create artificial shortages. Traders admit prices are manipulated, yet oppose government intervention like MSP. They say if the government sets the prices, who will purchase and store the goods. This broken system forces Mallah workers to migrate from Darbhanga to Madhubani, Katihar to Purnia, chasing a better deal in the same industry.
मखाना का खेत बहुत कम है यहाँ, इसलिए करके सुपौल जा रहे हैं। हम लोग के मजदूर आदमी कहूँ भी जाएंगे कमाएंगे। मेरा कोकट घर हुआ।
But some are rewriting the script. Roshan Kumar, once a popping unit helper, now runs his own processing brand. His turnover 50 to 60 lakhs a year.
बहुत संघर्ष देखे तब जाके मम्मी लोग के साथ इधर में करना शुरू कर दिए अपना काम। वहाँ पे किसी मालिक के अंडर में मम्मी पापा लोग कुछ मजदूर को लेके जाके काम कर रहे थे, तो उनको मुश्किल से 5-6 हज़ार रुपया बच रहा था। लेकिन अभी जैसा हम सेटअप किया है उसमें 10+ में प्रति कुंटल पे उम्मीद रहता है हम लोग।
कितना टर्नओवर है साल का?
साल का 50 से 55 लाख का टर्नओवर है हमारे करेंट अकाउंट।
Makhana's price is shaped not just in Bihar, but in Washington, Moscow, and Beijing. US tariffs, the Ukraine war, and even a single speech all ripple down to these ponds. A superfood for the world, but still a raw deal for those who harvest it. For the Mullah harvesters, makhana will always be like a stone in their hands, never a treasure. For the traders, it's kala sona. For the world, a superfood. But the real question is, when will those who dive, bleed and suffer finally taste the fruits of their labor? Until then, Bihar's black sona or diamond, whatever you want to call it, will keep shining. Everywhere except in the lives of those who bring it out of the mud. With Amit Bharadwaj, Bureau Report, India Today.
So that's the story of the makhana, the not so humble makhana that you and I enjoy straight out of packet. But look at the struggle that goes behind bringing you even just this little bowl. Of course, none of it actually goes back to the farmer. Let's break it up and open up this for a debate now. Dr. Anil Kumar, he's the Director of Research at Bihar Agricultural University, joins us. Namaskar, sir. हम बहुत शुक्रिया join करने के लिए. Also with us is Satyajit Singh. He's a makhana expert. He's also known as a makhana man of Bihar. Thank you, sir, for coming in. Would love to understand your perspective on what has changed. And also with us is Dimple. Dimple is a gut health and Ayurveda coach. She, of course, will tell us the various benefits that this not so humble dry fruit actually brings. Let me take the first question to Satyajit Singh. Satyajit ji, आपने जो अभी ये report देखा, the one you saw where little boys, 10-year-old, 12-year-olds are diving in, getting in, and we very fancily just open up this little packet, enjoy this little pop in our mouth, thinking it's a superfood, it's so much better than any of the fried things that are really out there. But makhana has been in conversation lately for lots of reasons, political included. What, according to you, has changed in the makhana story, at least in Bihar, in the past decade or so?
You know, in the past decade, the makhana story has changed from a non-existent commodity to a superfood for the global world. And this is the great achievement of makhana, because when we started the work in 20 years back, the pricing of makhana was only 40 rupees per kg for consumers. Now you can imagine from 40 rupees per kg to 1,000 rupees per kg, 2,500 rupees per kg as value added. So lots of activity concluded in the last 20 years, and everyone is benefited from this.
But value added for
farmers,
who, sir?
Which you
for
are
who? Even for the farmers?
No. Yeah. Because if you take the data of last 15 years, the farmers were getting less than 100 rupees. Today they are getting 600 to 800 rupees per kg. Their income increase, so the production is going up. There is no government, there is no such government support in the last 15-20 years. Now from the last 1-2 years, the government has started looking after this, after GI tag, after HS code, after makhana board announcement and all that. But this is the farmer initiative. The crop, the production is going on and the farmers are gaining. It is wrong concept. The interview which you have shown, in which he is telling that he is getting 40 rupees per kg, that 40 rupees per kg is for the extraction of the seed, their labor. And if you go through the price of the farmer makhana, it's 80 rupees per kg. So 5% cost is only for extracting the seeds from the ponds or fields. So everybody is gaining that, and it's a very wrong concept that farmers are getting 40 rupees and market we are selling at.
But Satyajit ji, आप कह रहे हैं 80 rupees for a kilo, and makhana is so light. Imagine a kilo would be a lot, right? And I'm paying here 80 rupees for 20 grams.
No,
Come on, justify that for me.
No. Please understand. I am not telling 80 rupees per kg. It was 15 years back price. Today the farmer price is 800 rupees kg. And what makhana you are eating, that you have to understand the statistics of whole bag. A farmer gives 10 kg of bag, and that is 8,000 rupees per bag. 10 kg bag.
Got it.
But only 6.5 kg is that makhana which is consumable for the consumers. 3.5 kg is complete wastage. That is the dust, that is the outer layer of the makhana and lots of other things. So
Doesn't make it. Got it. मैं समझ गया आपकी बात. Let me bring in other people also.
Okay, no problem.
And thank you, sir. Let me bring in other people also. Dr. Anil Kumar is here. He's a director of research at Bihar Agricultural University. Anil ji, हमें ज़रा बताइए कि मखाने का जो ये GI टैगिंग हुआ है, जो इतना पॉलिटिकल अटेंशन मिल गया है, प्रधानमंत्री ने इसके बारे में बात करी, ऑपोजिशन भी बात कर रहा है, राहुल गांधी भी इसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. ये जो बनने का एक मुद्दा हो रहा है पॉलिटिक्स में, क्या इसका इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है फार्मर पे? आपको लगता है उनको कोई बेनिफिट होता है एट द एंड ऑफ द डे?
थैंक यू वेरी मच मैम. जो भी अभी डॉक्टर सत्यजीत जी बोल रहे थे, उनकी बातें काफ़ी हद तक सही है, जो अपना पर्सपेक्टिव रख रहे थे. अभी आज ही जब मुझे आपका फ़ोन आया था, उस समय मैं मखाना के ऊपर ही, हमारा जो सेंटर है पूर्णिया में, वहाँ पे जो है इसकी जो है ऑर्गेनिक मखाना का जो हम लोग हार्वेस्टिंग कर रहे थे. तो अभी जो ब्रांडिंग की बात हो रही, जो जीआई की बात कर रहे थे, अगर हम जीआई की बात करें तो जीआई जब लिया जाता है, जियोग्राफिकल इंडिकेशन, तो अगर हम मखाना की बात करें तो इसकी जो हम लोग स्टार्ट किए थे तो 2020 में जो है 2 अगस्त को चालू किया था हम लोगों ने, इसको 4 अगस्त को हम लोगों को मिला था. तो ये 2 साल 2 महीने की लगातार की मेहनत के बाद ये जीआई टैग मिला हमको. जब ये जीआई टैग मिला,
बाय द वे, आपकी पूरी टीम को,
तब पूरी टीम को, पूरे बिहार के लिए मिला. तो जब हम लोग इसको काम करना शुरू किए थे तो 14 अगस्त को हम लोग अप्लाई किए थे और 16 अगस्त 2022 को मिला. तो ये टोटल 2 साल 2 महीने लगे हैं. जब ये चीज़ें, जब इसकी ब्रांडिंग हुई, इससे क्या होता है कि ये चीज़ें पर्टिकुलर जियोग्राफी में ही होगी, मिथिलांचल में ही होगा, जो उत्तर बिहार का पार्ट है वहाँ पे होगा. जैसे कि सत्यजीत जी बोल रहे थे अभी कि जो शुरू में इसका रेट बहुत कम था, अगर देखें उठा करके तो इसका एरिया भी घटता चला गया था. घटते घटते हाल ये हो गया कि 9-10 हज़ार हेक्टेयर में हो गया था. अब इसका पुनर्उत्थान हुआ है, अब जाके 30-35 हज़ार हेक्टेयर एरिया में हुआ है. जहाँ तक इसकी पॉपिंग परसेंट की बात हो रही थी, 1 किलो मखाना जो आप लेते, जो ब्लैक सीड होता है उसको, वो व्हाइट टू ब्लैक, जिसको हम लोग ब्लैक टू व्हाइट जब हम लोग करते हैं, तो वो जो चीज़ है वो ये 1/3 ही उसकी रिकवरी है. पॉपिंग परसेंट 1/3 ही है अगर आप जो है उनके पास जो पुराने बीज हैं. लेकिन जो 2 बीज हम लोगों ने तैयार किए हैं, जिसको सबौर मखाना 1 कहते हैं, और आईसीआर ने जो है स्वर्ण वैदेही बनाई है, इसकी पॉपिंग परसेंट जो है स्वर्ण वैदेही की 40 से 45%, लेकिन जो बिहार कृषि विश्वविद्यालय ने बनाई है सब और मखाना वन, उसकी पॉपिंग परसेंट 50% से ज्यादा है। तो ये जो 1/3 था वो 50% से गया है, तो आप समझते हैं 1.5 गुना की जो है
जी।
इसकी
तो
रेशियो बढ़ा है।
अनिल जी,
इसमें
आपकी बात से मुझे क्या समझ में आ रहा है कि जीआई टैगिंग से जो एग्रीकल्चरल यूनिवर्सिटी के जितने आपके डिपार्टमेंट के लोग हैं पूरे बिहार ने, जिसके लिए इसके लिए बैट करा आपने, सत्यजीत जी ने, सब लोगों ने, उसकी वजह से कंडीशंस काफ़ी बेटर हुई हैं, लेकिन इसमें
अब
बहुत
इसका
कुछ
जो इसका
बदलाव।
ग्लोबल रीच बढ़ा है, लोगों को पता चला है
जी।
कि ये यहीं पे हो सकता है, और
हाँ।
इसके साथ बहुत सारे लोगों ने इसमें मेहनत किया है। जीआई इज वन पार्ट। इससे क्या हुआ कि लोगों को क्या हुआ कि
उसके बारे में
विरासत से व्यापार,
जी।
विरासत
जी।
से व्यापार, जो हमारा विरासत है
नहीं नहीं,
उसका हम
बहुत
व्यापार
बहुत
कर सकें।
कंग्रेचुलेशंस आपको ये करने के लिए। लेट मी ब्रिंग इन डिम्पल एज वेल. Dimple, I want to understand the other aspect of the makhana story with you. A lot of people are popping not just a bowl of makhana, but like packets after packets of makhana, thinking it's really healthy. But I want to really cut the clutter, as they say, on this one and understand how much of it is actually a fad of a superfood and what actually happens when you don't consume makhana in its raw form, but actually spice it up with different kind of peri-peri, some spicy pudina, like all these fancy things that come in and make it so expensive. What happens then?
Let's understand what makhana really contains. It's a good source of protein, carbs, fat, very little fat actually, and a lot of fiber, which helps in preventing constipation, great for colon health. But it's also a good source of calcium, potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, and iron. So when you have too much of this, it can also lead to a little bit of calcification. Too much potassium is not good for your kidneys. So one bowl of makhana enough per person. When you have 3 to 4 packets of makhana, you're literally stressing your kidney because your kidney cannot digest that much amount of potassium in a day. Now, the good thing is makhana is great for diabetic patients because it has low GI index. It's great for those who have heart health issues, because of the presence of phosphorus, potassium, and magnesium. It reduces LDL cholesterol. It also reduces blood pressure issues. It's great for protecting your heart health. It's also low in calories. So if you're trying to lose weight, it gives you satiety. It fills you up very quickly, 350, 400 calories, per 100 grams of makhana. And it helps you lose weight, right? These are the good things. It also, by the way, helps in improving your sleep quality because it has a compound called tryptophan and it has magnesium. It has antioxidants
So it's
called...
a superfood in all its right. I'm trying to understand when you dress it up with other things, with too much salt, with dressings, with different kinds of new things that come out. What is it doing to the makhana then?
I recently bought a box of makhana, and when I turned around and saw the ingredients, let me tell you the number of coloring agents, preservatives, and flavor that are not at all natural that has been put in. So you think you're eating something healthy, but it's actually been coated with a nail paint. It's like putting a nail paint on your fingers. You've literally coated that healthy makhana with a coating of artificially made flavors. What does that do? Impairs your gut. It causes leaky gut syndrome in the long run. It can cause addiction to that particular flavor, overeating of that. It can also lead to, calcification in your kidney stones, in your kidney in the form of kidney stones because of all of these undigested preservatives. It is heavy on your liver when you have these flavored makhana versus a natural makhana. And, as you rightly saying, is this a fad or is this really a superfood? They call it kala sona or kala hira, right? Black diamond.
Black
To be
diamond.
honest, before makhana came and became so popular, what did we have? We had chana, we had dhokla, we had pistachio, we had pomegranate, jawar puffs, ragi puffs, healthy khakra. There are so many other alternatives. But that addiction to makhana is honestly pushed by the traders. Unfortunately, the benefit is not going to the farmers, which is honestly heartbreaking. After watching what you guys compiled, I would think twice before recommending makhana to someone now.
So do yourselves, your pockets and your gut a little bit of a favor, and instead of having something which is so adulterated with flavors, agents, stabilizers, salt, all of it, go buy a packet which will actually help you, your gut, your pocket, and perhaps go back to that farmer who's making all that effort, sort of scarring his hands and legs to bring this superfood to you and me. Thank you all for joining us on this very fascinating makhana discussion. That's all the time I'm afraid we have on the program today.